Takeru Nariera was just an ordinary, unlucky boy who had fallen for a girl far out of his league. One day, he spotted her pet wandering the streets alone. Afraid it might get hurt, he chased after it. Suddenly, a speeding truck headed straight toward the small animal. Without hesitation, Takeru jumped to save it, but instead of getting hit, he slipped and fell off a cliff. When he woke up, everything had changed. But before all of this happened, let's go back a few hours. The story begins when Takeru was hurt, lost, and running from strange monsters he had never seen before. He didn't know where he was or why the monsters were chasing him. One of them threw a powerful punch that nearly hit him, but he managed to dodge. Just as he was about to get caught, a girl appeared and pulled him behind a large rock. They stayed hidden for a few seconds until the monsters left. Grateful, Takeru thanked the girl, but then he noticed a tiny creature peeking out from under her dress. She started laughing, and Takeru quickly tried to act brave. He told her that he wasn't scared and would have fought off the monsters if he weren't injured. The girl smiled and teased that if that was true, then he could save her next time. And in that moment, Takeru fell head over heels in love. Gathering his courage, he took her hand and confessed his feelings. But right at that moment, he woke up. It had all been a dream. Back in the real world, two boys nearby teased Takeru, joking that he must have had an amazing dream. But Takeru was in no mood to laugh. He was tied up and surrounded by gang members with baseball bats. One of them warned him that he was going to regret walking into their turf. Still, Takeru didn't show fear. Instead, he was frustrated that once again he hadn't managed to confess his love, even if it was only in a dream. The gang laughed, saying he was too obsessed with his dream girl. Takeru kicked one of them and angrily insisted that the girl was more than just a dream. This only made the gang angrier. One of them swung a bat at his head, but Takeru dodged it and struck back with a strong headbutt. Even while tied up, he refused to give up. He remembered his family's motto, never admit defeat until you're dead. That belief made him feel like he could never truly lose. The gang came at him one by one, but Takeru kept fighting them off. Later, he escaped on a motorcycle. As he sped away, he made himself a promise. He would find the girl he loved, no matter what. Not long after, while riding down the road, he spotted the same small animal from his dream. He stopped in shock and chased after it. Suddenly, a truck rushed toward the creature. Without thinking, Takeru jumped to save it and fell off a cliff. He woke up unharmed in a completely unfamiliar place, and standing right in front of him was the girl from his dream. Smiling, he introduced himself and reminded her that she had once saved him. But the girl had no idea who he was. They were standing on a stage right in the middle of a play. Her pet suddenly fell from the sky and landed on Takeru's head, making him fall into her chest. She screamed loudly. In the audience, a green-haired girl laughed, thinking it was part of the act. A blue-haired girl disagreed, saying this wasn't in the script at all. The green-haired girl, looking amused, commented that this was way more fun than their usual performances. A boy named Semi agreed, but decided it was time to bring things under control. He activated a gadget in his hand that shot a rope and tied Takeru to the stage. Although he admired the chaos, he felt it had gone too far. The girl Takeru slapped him and told him to leave. Feeling rejected, he wandered the streets alone, thinking she must hate him now. Trying to distract himself, he asked a young boy about the kebab he was eating, but the boy didn't understand him. Still confused, Takeru walked into a nearby shop to try buying something, but the store used a strange currency. When he tried using his dead phone to pay, the clerk kicked him out. Outside, he asked a man where he was. The man simply told him this was Zone 7 on Bojo Street in Denji Hyankyo. The answer only made Takeru more confused. As he wandered, he ended up in a place that strangely felt familiar, as if he had gone back in time. Then a public alert echoed across the city. A black mist was approaching and everyone needed to evacuate immediately. Takeru didn't reach safety in time. He and a few others were caught outside the protected zone. As the mist closed in, he saw a child about to be swallowed by it. Takeru ran toward the child and covered them with his body. They were pulled into another world. Everyone around them was frozen in fear, unable to move. Takeru looked around, trying to see if anyone else had survived. That's when a huge monster appeared and began destroying the petrified people. Takeru, badly outmatched, stood in front of the monster and yelled at it to leave everyone alone. The monster blasted him with a strong attack. Even though he was seriously injured, he refused to back down. Just as the monster prepared a second attack, a giant robot landed in front of Takeru and punched the creature, knocking it back. Inside the robot, the pilots, Yura and Atsunaga, watched in surprise. They wondered how this boy was still moving when everyone else had turned to stone. The robot told Takeru to stay where he was while it handled the fight. But Takeru didn't listen. He said that if the monster returned, he'd fight himself. The monster, also known as an Oni, charged forward again, and the robot prepared a special move. Together, the pilots unleashed the 5 Thunders, combining 5 elemental attacks. The move hit the monster hard and finally defeated it. Back in the control room, the blue-haired girl watching recognized Takeru as the same boy who had crashed the stage earlier. It was now clear that this strange boy had become part of something much bigger. After the fight, the city's authorities came to help the wounded. Yura and Atsunaga approached Takeru to check if he was okay. But Takeru, full of pride, claimed they had gotten in the way of his fight. His arrogance almost made Yura lose her temper, but Atsunaga calmed her down. Atsunaga said it was amazing that Takeru could survive the Black Mist, but reminded him that he was no match for an Oni. Only warriors known as Onmyoji could fight them. Before he could explain more, he was called away. Nearby, the girl Takeru had saved earlier had returned to normal, and he smiled, relieved. Later, Takeru wandered through the streets again, trying to understand what was happening. He thought of his family saying, "Don't think until you've eaten." That's when the girl from his dreams appeared once more. She recognized him now and scolded him for ruining the important performance. She mentioned that even the Emperor's top advisor had been in the crowd. Still, she noticed he was hurt and brought him to a quiet place to eat. While they ate, Takeru told her everything. She realized he wasn't from their world. When he mentioned surviving the Black Mist, she was shocked. Takeru asked what the Oni and Mist were. A man nearby explained that the Oni were enemies from another world and the Mist came with them. The girl said that if Takeru wanted to return home, maybe the Onmyoji could help, but Takeru didn't trust Atsunaga or Yura. The man, offended, said the Onmyoji protected the city with powerful robots called Shikigami. A woman nearby added that their leader was Saimei. That night, Takeru lay in bed, unable to sleep. Outside, the girl from his dreams danced in the moonlight. Takeru stepped out, clapped, and complimented her. She smiled and asked if they had met before. Takeru reminded her of his promise to protect her, and she said she wouldn't forget. Then she told him her name, Tsukimiya. The next morning, Takeru was helping with chores when a royal messenger arrived. The Emperor's advisor was furious about the ruined performance and demanded that Tsukimiya come to the palace to apologize. Takeru tried to take the blame, but the messenger ignored him. Then Saimei arrived. Takeru mistakenly called him Simoe, but Saimei just laughed, saying many people got it wrong. He reassured Tsukimiya, and she seemed to trust him. As their air vehicle left, the green-haired girl asked Saimei if Takeru's strangeness bothered him. He just shrugged. Suddenly, a new Black Mist alert came. The warning came too late, and the mist hit Tsukimiya's flying carriage. Takeru grabbed a weapon and ran into the mist, remembering his promise to protect Tsukimiya. Yura and Atsunaga were already fighting a new Oni. Takeru searched the strange landscape until he found the crashed vehicle. The Oni was jumping through portals, attacking from different directions. The Shikigami couldn't keep up and were badly hurt. Just before the final blow, Takeru jumped in and attacked the monster, surprising everyone. Only Saimei smiled, expecting it. The Oni grabbed Takeru, crushed him, and threw him to the ground. Takeru's body was broken, but somehow his wounds healed. He stood again, remembered his family's words, and ran straight into the next attack. He punched back with all his strength. That moment, his body changed. He transformed into a powerful armored warrior. With one final punch, he defeated the Oni. Saimei watched and admitted that this boy was special. Inside the mist, Takeru returned to normal and saw that Tsukimiya was safe. But then the Oni's core rose and a strange gate appeared. Tsukimiya shattered like glass. Before Takeru could move, another Oni appeared behind him and stabbed him through the back. The next moment, Takeru woke up, gasping, back in the same place where it all started.